The disrespect and the dysfunction that is Cleveland Brown continues. The Cleveland Browns went out and got another quarterback, and I sort of predicted it. Let's talk about it. Right before we do that, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me here on TLP Sports Club. That is the YouTube channel. The show that you are watching is called TLP Live. I'm happy to be. The B means billion. And just like my intro says, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. All right, hit that thumbs up to share the video. All right, so by now you know what's going on. If you are keeping track of everything that is the Cleveland Browns or Shedeur Sanders, then you know exactly what's going on. But it's quite interesting because I want to share something with you. So yesterday, around 4:24 p.m., my guys sent me a message. They said Dillon Gabriel will be limited on Monday by a hamstring injury. So about 5:29 p.m., I wrote back and I said they're going to find a new QB to give the reps to. That was about 5 p.m. I had a couple of lives yesterday. All right. By 7 p.m., said Dillon is limited, period. Stop, yo. Let me get my monologue out. Yo, stop. Not yet. By 7 p.m., the information had come out that the Cleveland Browns had a new quarterback. I can't make this stuff up, bro. I'm telling you, I can't make this stuff up. Literally, what time was it? 4:24 p.m. The message was sent that Dillon Gabriel was going to be limited on Monday. By 5:29 p.m., I said they're going to get a new quarterback. By 7 p.m., we found out that they had a new quarterback. What's going on? I was joking. I was not prophesying, okay? I was just joking. Oh. Yo. Sure. So let's go ahead. Let's dig into it. I'm going to share that information with you for those of you who don't already know the information. You know, we're not breaking news here. We like to have a conversation. I provide a safe place for us to have a conversation. And this is what this is. So if you want to join the conversation, you can join us in the live chat. If you are post live and you're watching this after we stop the live, make sure to join the conversation by being in the comments, okay? But if you are live, you want to come on to this panel, and you just want to voice your frustration. Like yesterday, I ran out of material. I'm done. I did too much yesterday. I did a lot yesterday, and I'm done. But this is new information, so here we are again. Join tlplive@gmail.com. That is the email that you're going to email, and then I'm going to send you a link, and you are going to come onto the panel, and I'll give you the mic. I don't care no more. I'm so through. Join tlplive@gmail.com. Join tlplive@gmail.com. For those of you who want to bless the kid, my Cash App is right there. $ TLP Sports Club. $ TLP Sports Club. All right. So let's get into the story. For those of the people who are going to watch this and are not aware of what's going on, we can't assume that everybody knows what's going on, even though a lot of y'all are, tick, 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 tick. You get the stuff even sometimes before we do. We're the content creators. So, but there are people out there that'll click on the video and they're like, what's going on? I'm too busy. I got things going on in my life and I have no idea what you're talking about. For those people, let's go ahead. Make sure to write down the email, jointlplive@gmail.com. I got to take that off the screen so that I can share the stuff that I'm about to share with the people that don't know. All right. So let's go ahead and share that information now. We're going to do that at the top of the show just for people that don't know what's happening. We can bring them up to speed. And then when we start our conversation, we start talking about the dysfunction, at least you will be right there along with us. All right. This one, I got like ESPN. The one that I shared yesterday was on ESPN. This one is from CBS Sports. So this is CBSSports.com. Brian Dardo. Brian DiNardo. Yeah, Brian DiNardo. Browns signed former Pro Bowl quarterback amid injuries to Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. Even the title is troubling because Shedeur Sanders should not be on that injury list. He had a sore arm, came back and started throwing like nobody's business. So, and he wasn't limited. So I don't know why they keep. Okay, so I guess they're trying to say all the quarterbacks are hurt. That's a narrative that we're gonna have to dig into that. I didn't peep that at first, but we're gonna have to talk about that because it seems like they're trying to use that, and now it's almost reminiscent of something that I think Tim was saying earlier in the last couple of lives. But I'm sure Tim is already on top of that. Tim is like, Harry B, I told you. I told you they wanted to do something with that injury. Anyways, here it goes. The Cleveland Browns have added yet another notable name to their quarterback room. With injuries at the position mounting, the Browns have signed former Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley, according to ESPN. Now, apparently, he goes by Tyler Snoop Huntley. All right, Huntley, 27. He's 27 years old. He spent last training camp with the Cleveland Browns before failing to make the 53-man roster for the season. I guess if you read it like that, they said he made the 53-man roster initially, but something happened, and the deal did not go through. It fell through, and that's why he had to dip. So he did make the roster. So just for perspective, for those of you who want to know, he did make their roster as the quarterback. So put a pin in that, because making that roster, it's going to say something in the discussions that we have going forward. All right, so the Browns have re-signed him for now. Okay, the Browns re-signed him now for depth purposes as veteran Kenny Pickett and rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders have each sustained various injuries over the past 2 weeks. Again, why are they using the Shedeur thing as a true injury? That's weird, but we'll talk about it. Pickett missed 3 practices before returning to practice on Saturday in a limited capacity. Sanders didn't participate in team drill Saturday due to arm soreness, but was back at practice on Monday. Exactly. Gabriel was a limited participant on Monday as he was dealing with hamstring tightness. The only healthy quarterback on the Browns' current roster is 40-year-old Joe Flacco, and you got to keep using that age because he is not going to finish the season. The last time Joe Flacco finished a season, we had to go back 10 years. But 9 games he's probably maxing out 10 games, and the NFL is playing like 17 games. So if he's maxing out nine games, he's not gonna finish the season. All right, so he was tabbed as the starter on the team's initial depth chart. I posted a depth chart yesterday. Somebody said I was capping, but of course, when you're first and you're not notable yet, people say that you are not, when you're one of the first, obviously, people say you capping. So I guess I'm not capping. Okay. A former undrafted rookie, Huntley, has spent the majority of his NFL career with the Baltimore Ravens. During his 4 years in Baltimore, Huntley made 10 starts that included one in the postseason while playing in relief of then injured Lamar Jackson. In 2022, Huntley was named to his lone Pro Bowl after the Ravens clinched a wild card playoff berth. All right, so that's make sure you're keeping these, you're noting these things because it's important to for the discussion. All right, so they're not getting a quarterback the way that we were talking about Flacco and Pickett. This guy seems like he's legit and he's young. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Well, he ain't that young, but he's young. I mean, I think him and Dylan Gabriel are pretty much the same age because Dylan Gabriel was in college for 20 years. I'm joking, but you know, that was a long time. Huntley's 5 other NFL starts came last year with the Miami Dolphins. In 5 starts with Miami, Huntley completed 64.7% of his passes with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The Dolphins went 2-3 in those losses. While physically gifted, mistakes have often neutered some of good things. Some of good things Huntley has done while given a chance to play. He has 10 career interceptions compared to 11 career touchdown passes and 13 fumbles. All right, Huntley is joining Cleveland just 4 days before their preseason opener against the Carolina Panthers. He has a chance to make come on. He has a chance to make the team's 53-man roster or the practice squad, depending on how well he performs in the upcoming weeks. His presence will give the Browns added insurance at the position if they decide to trade one of their other quarterbacks sometimes between now and week number 1. All right, so let's talk about it. That's for those people who may not be aware of what's really going down. That information is for you. Remember, you can call into the show. I can do this alone, or you guys can join me and we can have this conversation. And I'm going to put that email back up there. It is jointlive@gmail.com. jointlive@gmail.com. You send me an email. I send you the link. It's just that simple. You click on it. You get your phone or your computer ready, and you come on. You don't have to show your face. My guy Wild Dog shows his face. Everybody else is kind of like behind the scenes. All right, but yeah, let's talk about it. There's a few things here to talk about. A few things that we gotta, you know what I'm saying? My emotions are calm, and now we can have a good discussion. Before we start the discussion and honest though, let me just say hello to my people that are blessing me this morning with their virtual presence. That's going to be Ty Smith. Dallas is in the building. Put some respect on Dallas, okay? You feel me? Valerie Ellis, even though I don't think he's a Dallas Cowboys fan. We're going to have to talk about that, Tim. I don't know what's going on with that. You can't be in Dallas and you be like a different, like you're not even rooting for your home team. But you're not from Dallas, but it's okay. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? And don't even try to check me because Liberia has no football teams, okay? You're like, you from Liberia? Where's your team? Stop playing with me, Tim. I think I'm talking to myself here, but it's okay. Valerie Ellis, what up with you, Harry B? I'm so disappointed and can't imagine what Shedeur is feeling. Yes, Valerie, we were going to talk about all of that. Virtual CEO, what up with you? He started off the conversation talking about Dylan is limited, period. DJ Dale, what up with you? Hope all is well. Clara Jones, how you doing? Haslam is going to trade Shedeur. He played with Cleveland before. All right. Okay. We'll talk about that. Judon, what up with you? Avi Aki, what's up with you? T Vids, what up with you? And let's see. Jeffrey Chap Champion. I'm sorry, I can't read right now. Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel both have hamstring injuries, and Joe Flacco is not going to play on Thursday. That's why they brought in another quarterback. All right, Jay Brucker Pitts, what up? Hope all is well. All right, so let's go. Let's talk about this. Call into the show if you want to come on. Call into the show if you want to come on here. You want to add your voice. I know y'all got a lot of good things to say. It's a lot of good people out there. There's sometimes they get stuck in the chat. They don't know they can come onto these panels. This is live. I am in New York. You are wherever you are. This is my studio. I got another studio downstairs. This one is upstairs. You know what I'm saying? I rock out, and this is how I do it. Call into the show. You can have your voice heard. You don't have to get stuck in the chat. All right. So here it goes. Let's break this down and let's take it in stride. The first thing that we want to make sure that we highlight is the fact that Cleveland does not want Shedeur. All right, this is a fact that we have to come to agree with. Cleveland does not want Shedeur. It's obvious, and they have no plans for Shedeur. There have been people that have said this. I think I have to give credit to DC Carson Music. He did say that it's obvious that the way that things kind of played out in the draft and the way that they're moving, it's obvious he was not in their plan. I'm sure some other people said it as well, but I'm just remembering at the time it's live, so I'm just remembering in my brain right now that is DC that kind of pushed that. He kept pounding on that that idea, like, hey man, just think about it. They don't want him. Okay, so salute to you, DC. But yeah, it's obvious. The first thing is they don't want him. The owner, I believe him and the lady, I forget, I don't know if that was his wife, if they're co-owners or whatever. They had a press conference. Within that press conference, he was not asked any questions about the trade situation with Shedeur, but the owner Haslam, Jimmy Haslam, he came out and he volunteered the information. He said, if you would have told me that we were going to be drafting Shedeur, I would have told you you're going crazy, because I would not allow that. And then he said something like, then there were people in the room and conversations were had, and the GM made a decision to pick Shedeur. If you remember the draft, in that draft room, after Shedeur was picked, the faces on all of the people, including the GM, it was not indicative. I don't know if indicative is the right word. It did not look like the GM was happy to choose Shedeur and the head coach. Nobody in that room seemed happy to choose Shedeur. So maybe there's, but y'all remember that one of their insiders, because that's what everybody has, right? Most media or most organizations, like sports organizations or public organizations, especially if you are a media, you're big in the media, you have your pundits, you have your analysts, your insiders, people that you're going to share crumbs with, that, you're just like, hey, anything you want to leak that is not official from with the organization, because the organization can deny at any moment. But you have those insiders, those trusted people that you want to toss them some information. And I'll tell you who's one of those people, and they say that this person is actually one of the ones that you can trust. She's gotten awards for her broadcasting, and that's Mary Kay Cabot. Now that we're starting to get to know her, so she's one of those insiders, and then there's others, right? You kind of have to kiss the ring for you to get those inside scoops. But it came out. It said somebody came out. I don't know if it was Mary Kay, but somebody came out and said the owner made that call. I don't know if it was a podcast or somebody came out and said the owner made that call. In order for that kind of information to just be put out there into the universe, there has to be some kind of truth to it. There has to be something to it, because people don't like, if you like your position, wherever you're working, whether it's ESPN, is Sirius SM, or you have a podcast that is connected, you get inside information. If you like your position, you don't want to throw out falsehoods, like blatant lies like that. All right? You'll get on the phone, you'll make a phone call, and you will start asking questions within the organization. People that you will start asking questions. And then somebody said, yeah, Haslam was like, Haslam wanted him, so, he made that phone call, and we pulled the plug. We pulled the trigger on that. So for them to come out now after that and say, well, I didn't want him, that was kind of suspect, because you're sending mixed messages. We already heard it from your people during draft night that you made that call. And then somewhere where the conversation gets going, somehow y'all decide that you're going to save face. So is that because we were going to get to this place that y'all knew that y'all wanted to get here? Nobody knows. But that was unwarranted. Nobody asked that question, but he provided the information anyway. So we say, okay, fine. You don't want him. We still got questions. If you don't want him, why do you have him in your organization? Why do you have him there? I came up with a theory, which is still out there. And I want you to remember that I'm batting 98% on my channel. The stuff that I say, I told you, 4:25 p.m. Was it 4:25? Let me tell you, let me give you some receipts. If DC comes on today, he'll be able to verify this. 4:24 p.m. DC sends me the message and says, yo, Harry B, Dylan's hurt. This is some content for you. You might want to jump on this. I said, all right, bet. Cool. The very next thing that I typed to him, 5:29 p.m., because I was busy at the time. I couldn't respond right away. At 5:29, I said, they're going to find a new quarterback to give him the reps, to. A couple of hours later, they had a new quarterback. I don't have inside information. I'm not connected to him, but I was starting to understand what DC was saying. So I was locked in now on how they're moving. They don't want Shedeur. So what is the fate of Shedeur? Where are we right now with Shedeur and the Cleveland Browns? We don't know, but you got to imagine. Like somebody said earlier, I wonder what's going on with Shedeur in his mind. Like I wonder what he's going through. For a team to be blatantly obvious that they don't want you, it's weird. So here was my theory. Coach Prime doing this draft process some time back, he said to the effect, everybody's been saying this. Coach Prime just kind of threw his voice on it. Keep in mind who Coach Prime is. Keep in mind his platform. Keep that in mind. We have all been saying that Cleveland Browns is the place where where young players go to bury their careers. Coach Prime, he either tweeted that or he said something to the effect. And he also went on to what was the young lady's TV show that he went on when he was being interviewed? It was either the TV show or it was one of those, media roles when stuff was happening in the media. He said that my son ain't going to be playing, that there's certain teams my son ain't going to be playing for. All right? When Coach Prime said that, that opens up the ears of the NFL players. But keep in mind that Coach Prime is not the first person to say this. He was thinking about the fact that the Manning family had pulled this same move before. He said, if they can do it, and I already know my son is a first-round material, then you know what? I can do it too because I have seniority in this league. I'm a bigger figure in this league. By the way, bigger figure, what up? Salute to you. Those who know. But yeah, so Coach Prime was trying to let the people know, like, hey man, I'm Prime. I put in the work. I earned where I'm at, and I believe I deserve where I'm at. You feel me? And I have earned, and I got the gold jacket. I don't know if Coach Prime said he got a couple of gold jackets. I got the gold jacket, and people know me around here, and people respect me. If that's the same and it's synonymous with the same, well, it's kind of like the same what the Manning did. The only thing, the difference is when the Mannings did it though, during draft time, it was like, all right, it's the Manning did it. So Coach Prime put it out there that he did not want his son to go to Cleveland. He made that known. So my theory was, is it possible that Jimmy Haslam, who is the co-owner or he's the owner of the Cleveland Browns, did he hear that? And is he using Shedeur as a pawn in this grand scheme of that he has to destroy his career? Remember, I kept saying that Diddy situation. Allegedly, Diddy would take artists he was signing artists just to shelve them and to kill their career. That's allegedly. Because, Diddy's in a weird place, and when people get caught up in a weird place, they start suing people all left and right. So Let me just cover myself. I heard it through the grapevine, allegedly, that's what he does to artists. So I'm thinking, did he make a call to Jimmy Haslam and be like, yo, let me tell you how you really gonna, give it to Prime. This is what we do in the music industry. If you don't like an artist, if the artist was messing with your ops, you know what you do? You sign them and then you shelve them. Did they make that call? And he was like, yeah, we do that in the music industry. If we don't like an artist, we just gonna sign him. If he's competition to our star or whatever, we sign him and then we shelve him. That's how you get rid of the competition. So if Prime did you dirty and he put your name out there and he muddy your team like that and he tried to mess with your money, if he did that to you, then yeah, it has. This is Diddy and Jimmy Haslam now. How's because black people, we do this thing where everybody gets a nickname because it's too much to be trying to pronounce the whole name. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yo, H. I went from Harry to H. Hey, yo, H. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Has. If you want to do that, this is not the Diddy voice. I don't do voices. I'm just using my regular voice. Yeah, if you want to kill him, if you want to get at him, that's how you get at him. Yeah, you just sign his son. Make sure he drops though. Make sure he dropped like 5 rounds in the draft. You sign him late, and then you put him through the ringer, and then eventually you get rid of him. So the get rid of move is Scoop or Snoop, whatever his nickname is, Huntley. We get to Huntley. Huntley is not a bad quarterback. Huntley seems like the type of guy, the journeyman who just needs an opportunity. He reminds me of Geno Smith. They've been certain places. They have the skills to do it. They just need an organization to trust them and give them an opportunity. The same thing Shedeur Sanders is asking for. Shedeur's like, I just want an opportunity. So now here we are. Tim, I got you. I'm coming to you, man. 1 second. So yeah, so he's not a bad quarterback. I'm not concerned about him though. Like, oh, is he gonna come in? If he does well, then Shedeur's definitely out. But no, we know Shedeur's out. Shedeur's done. Like they don't want him. It's obvious they don't want him. You don't give him first team reps. We don't get to see him practice with the ones. These people are out. This is the time where you would think Shedeur and Flacco will, this is it. Like, okay, let's see it now. Because if you don't do it now, then we're like, okay, then what? But 5:24 p.m., I jokingly tell them they're going to get a quarterback. I didn't know how much power my words have. I don't know. I didn't know how much power my words have. 7 p.m. this Eastern time. They were already announcing that they had a quarterback. So that means that when Pickett, follow the timeline, guys. That means that when Pickett went down, they had already pegged Pickett as their starter. They hadn't told us yet. But when Pickett went down, they picked up the phone and called Huntley and started working out the deal. Because it's not something that just happened overnight. As soon as Pickett went down, who was their starter, they called Huntley. What does that say? You know what that says? It says that they already knew that Joe Flacco was not their guy. Dylan Gabriel is not playing up to his draft number, and whatever he did at Oregon, his confidence, as somebody mentioned in the media, His confidence is shot, right? He's too short. It's so much going on. And you got to scroll just like the rest of us. It's too much going on. So mentally, he's not there. Because some of those passes that he's making, that he's not making, it's like, come on, bro. Like, bro. Yo, I know quarterbacks that are. What's the guy named Shug? I know he could have made that pass. Ain't no pressure on you. Why are you missing that? What's going on? Something in his head. He's done. He's cooked. As my kids would say it. So Dylan Gabriel is out. So that means that since Saturday or July 26th, that was Liberia's Independence Day. My beautiful Liberia. That was our Independence Day. When Flacco went down. Not Flacco. What am I saying? I'm sorry. When Pickett went down, they started making that move for that next quarterback because he was already there. Huntley was there last year. He made the team. Something happened and he didn't get signed, but he made the 53-man roster. So they knew that they had a quarterback that was in the wings because Shedeur was not their guy. Shedeur's a pawn in this whole thing. He's got to be a pawn. Because all of their moves are letting us know that he's not value. He's not priority. So then you keep asking, like, what's up? What are y'all doing? Like, why did y'all bring Shedeur in this situation? I know I'm just playing around with my scenario, the Diddy scenario, where you hire the guy and then you let him go. I'm playing with that, but it's, there's certain things that you just want to throw it out there and just see if there's any kind of motion on that. Just like I threw out there, they're going to get a new quarterback. I wasn't trying to prophesy or anything like that, even though I do have the gift of prophecy and discernment. That's not one of the things I was trying to prophesy on. I was just throwing it out there. I said, man, they're going to get a new quarterback to give them the reps, just playfully. And before you knew it, 2 hours later, they were announcing that they had a new quarterback. But that motion had to be in place when in July, because we're only like August 5th. So that July 26th, they already knew that they wanted that guy Huntley to come in, while Shedeur is fighting for his career, not giving him any reps. At this point, we should have seen Shedeur with the first team, because that's what you want to do with a guy that you're interested in. But they're not interested in Shedeur's talent. They don't care. It's obvious they don't care. There's this other narrative where I'm like, oh, well, if they're really doing this deliberately to try to wring the best out of Shedeur, and I like the move, but now you bring in another quarterback, and now all the red flags, everything is going up. Everything is going up now. Now you're just like, wait a minute. Everything that I'm trying to give y'all the benefit of the doubt for, you guys are actually doing it a disservice. You're taking everything and you're throwing it out the window. So I'm trying to understand. I'm like, look, what is the goal and what is the plan here? I don't know how, like, free agents and people like that, I don't know how they, what type of power they have. Can they ask for a trade or whatever? I have no idea. But it's obvious that you have a young quarterback who hasn't gotten any opportunity to really prepare for this season. I'm not saying he ain't getting no opportunities. I'm saying he's not getting the opportunity to prepare for the season, because the young man that you're bringing in, the 27-year-old Huntley that you're bringing in, it seems like him and Shedeur Sanders have similar skill sets. He's more athletic, though. But it seems like they have similar skill set. They can play the position of quarterback. So if you need a quarterback and you got one right there, just play him. That's all it is. Just play him. Because if you were interested in him, you would know right away whether he's good or not. So just play Shedeur. But you have no interest in Shedeur. So is it time that we just sever ties and just say, all right, man, let him go? Like, let him go already, because what's left? Like, what else do you want from us? The coach's job includes making sure that they are communicating with the fan base, making sure that they're keeping the fan base abreast of what's going on with the organization. There are other people in the front office that's going to do other things with the fan base, like giving out, gifts and like tickets and stuff like that, rafflings. But as far as communication with the fan base, that has to come from the coach. Hey man, this is what we're doing. These are our intentions. These are the people that we are bringing in. You guys saw what we lacked last year. So this is how we're handling these things. The conferences, the press conferences that they give is all for the fans. Because the fans are your number one investors. I'm going to repeat that. For people who think the fans don't know anything and they don't matter. Your fan base is your number one investors. And when you have an investment company like the Browns, that top guy, the person that holds the biggest bag at your firm, that person gets invited to parties, baby showers. I'm not saying they have to go. I'm just saying like you treat them special, right? Your biggest investors, you treat them with special treatment. And the fans are the biggest investors for every single NFL team. So the communication between fans, between coaches, between organization, it's a very fine line that the coach and the organization have to understand how to treat the fans. Because if you think the fans have no power, I can remind you about Geno Smith and Eli Manning with the New York Giants, my team. When they took Eli Manning, who was the Super Bowl champion, the savior of the Giants organization during his time, when they took him out to put in Geno Smith, New York lost it. And before you knew it, Eli Manning was right back in there. Geno Smith right now is on the West Coast with the Oakland Raiders. He's been playing in Seattle. He's doing okay. But the way he was treated while he was here, terrible. I'm saying that to let you know that the fans have power. Limited power, that is. But you got power. We got power. We're the ones that are buying the jerseys. We're the ones that are buying those tickets. If we say, hey, man, we don't like what you're doing with Shedeur, you better pay attention. The reason why Shedeur had that press conference and no other quarterback had that press conference is because of the fans. It's because of supply and demand. We demand to hear from Shedeur. We don't care about nobody else. So we want to hear. Now the organization is trying to, maybe, I don't know, be sensitive to the fans. Todd Smith, welcome to the show, brother. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you. How you doing today, man?
Hey, good morning. Hey, man. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, man.
Good.
The Cleveland Browns do not understand how to please their number one investors, which is their fans. Let me just preface this, and then I want you to give me your thoughts. We're new. Shedeur fans are new. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that a big portion of the Cleveland Browns fan base that were there before Shedeur also have a vested interest in Shedeur being the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. And for some odd reason, the organization does not care about the fan base that care about Shedeur, and they're playing this game. And I want your thoughts on it. How they're treating their number one investors, and how you know how money works and how investment companies treat their investors, especially the top dog, the whale within the whole investment company. Like if somebody's investing $1,000, you probably get some tickets to go take your kids to the park or whatever. But the guy that has like the whale, the one that called the whale, that guy gets to go to baby showers. Why do you think the Cleveland Browns are treating the whale as poorly as they're treating the whale? That's us, the fans.
Um, yeah, your biggest donors get a lot more perks than just your average donor. But I think, man, that they they want to be right. They want to feel like they gotten this thing right, and they haven't been able to get it right for years. So we always use the words in terms, are they trying to save face? That's obvious, but I think that they know, hey, this stadium is gonna sell itself, so we don't have to give information if we don't want to. That's just like Walmart. People can say, hey, we're gonna boycott Walmart or whatever. Walmart gonna sell itself. McDonald's is gonna sell itself. That arch up there, I don't care. You gonna swing in it every now and then. So that that stadium is gonna sell itself. So I feel like the Cleveland Browns, they don't care. Uh, because the stadium is gonna sell itself. So they're gonna give, and they know that. So with knowing that, they know that there's information that they can withhold from those from us as fans.
I mean, I understand it, but NFL teams have been dealing with fans awkwardly for a long time. But when the fans speak, there are times where they tried so hard to ignore the fans, but then there comes the time where they need the fans, and then the fans say, "Okay, remember when you treated us this way?" And then they come back to the table. There are great organizations that they know that their fan base is everything they got. Where
Right, like
there are
Cleveland.
towns, like if you go to Pittsburgh, if you go to there's certain cities where the town and the football team are in sync, where everybody and everything is about the team. So they know that if you want anything done with this team, you got to come through us. And they communicate with the fans. The fans know because the fans are very smart and they watch the game. And they know the holes that are being created during the season, or the holes that are out there. They know. So at the end of the season, there are message boards that the fans go to communicate. Man, we needed a tight end. I hope that the organization is going to go ahead and address the tight end, either through the trade deadline or the draft. Next thing you know, they're answering the idea of the tight end. This is how the fans, have they have that confidence in the organization, and they'll keep coming back. What is different? But what is different about this Cleveland thing here? I understand that they don't have to tell us anything, but what is it about Cleveland that they just don't know how to do like every other NFL team? Why are their fans loyal to them? Is it like one of those things where, hey, we're the only thing popping where in Cleveland, and you can like us or not like us, we're just gonna do what we do? What is it about Cleveland that they can like ignore their fan base, and yet they sell out stadium tickets, they sell out home games?
That that's my point. Like it ain't nothing else. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers there. I don't really know too much about what else they got in Cleveland, but um, I just really know Cleveland Cavaliers and Cleveland Browns. You know what I mean? Uh, but it ain't really too much. excitement coming out of Cleveland. I don't know if it's just people just want to go to the games or what, but if my team suck like that, I'm not spending my money to go to no game and sit in the stadium and watch them get blown out and beat down. Uh, so I'm not 100% sure on that one, bro. Like,
So KMS, let me talk to KMS real quick. KMS says because they are real fans. I mean, real fans also have demands. Whether you are real fans, I know you're trying to troll Shedeur fans. I know that's what you're trying to do. But whether you are a fan of a player, you're traveling over with the player, because Michael Jordan had the same effect. LeBron James had the same effect when he went to Miami. So whether it is bandwagon fans, you're traveling with the players, you have a right to demand the things that the fans demand. It's not like you don't have any rights at all because you are a fan of a player. So when you said they're real fans and y'all are Shedeur fans, Shedeur is a real player. He's a good player. And if there's a million of us or over, there's millions of us and we're coming over, we are a sizable enough number that you cannot ignore, or you cannot ignore us whether or not you like us.
you got a point, Harry. You got a point there, but I'm gonna use this scenario for example. Right now here in Dallas, DeMarcus Ware, I mean not DeMarcus Ware, but their edge rusher, Michael Parsons. He wants out, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a big headline story. The fans, Dallas is in disbelief. You know, everybody, that's the talk of the town. Everybody talking about it everywhere. How stupid Jerry Jones is if he let him walk out that building. And you think Jerry Jones care? As long as those numbers hit, as far as people showing up in that stadium, he care less if he walks out that building or not. Long as that stadium is packed, that's all he care about are the numbers. Now, when you talk about those certain donors, yeah, you can have 150 to 200,000 people buying the cheap tickets, standing room only. They up in nosebleed or whatever. You know what I mean? Those just people that, that's just free money for him. But now, the people that's paying $10,000 for them suites at ground level, each and every game, they may have somewhat of a impact. But
right, but I mean, when you start breaking it down like that for the numbers, fine. I'm talking about the power that there is in the entire group when there's one voice. If we like a player and we're all saying, "Hey, man, what are y'all doing?" Or if we know that there's a specific place, a specific hole that needs to be filled, and we're like, we need a tight end, or we need a left guard, the blind side of the quarterback, like he was running for his life the entire time. We have to address those things. If the organization continues to ignore those things, the fan base, once their voices become one, I don't care if you're getting all the money or not. You're gonna have to listen.
That's true.
Let's bring on Wild Dog.
And I'm gonna sustain on the organization itself. Yes, you're right.
Wild Dog, what up with you, man? Thank you for calling. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey. Thank you, Harry B. What's up? What's up, Smith?
Hey, what's up, Wild Dog, man? I seen you in the chat, my brother.
Yeah, blessings to the bandwagon Buffs. Greetings to the bandwagon Browns, baby. Another day that the Lord has made. Be grateful in it.
Amen. So listen, man. Right now, I'm trying to figure out if the Browns care at all about their biggest investors. I know some people want to call us out saying, "Oh, you guys are just Shedeur fans. You don't matter." or whatever. But there's over a million, there's millions of us that are Shedeur fans. Should we be ignored? Is it, even though the organizations, they're gonna get their money anyway, is it a smart move to ignore the biggest fans that you got?
It's America, bro. It's the United States. And the fact that football is the number one sport, overwhelmingly, let me put it that way, overwhelmingly the number one sport in the United States, it's kind of a crutch. That's a catch-all, be-all. It almost doesn't matter what you do as long as you can put, 11 warm bodies on the field at a time. We're that eager and hungry for the sport. That's just plain and simple. And in Ohio, it's even by far the best sport. So between the Buckeyes, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Browns themselves, you were born into legacy. So a lot of fans might not know is that historically the Browns have won All-American Conference football, All-American Football League championships, 4 of them. And prior to the Super Bowl, the Browns won 4 NFL championships. This is all prior to the Super Bowl era. Okay. So that's 8 championships that all the Browns fans were basically born into, legacy. So the Browns, you got legacy with arguably by far one of the greatest football players ever in Jim Brown. So you're born into this legacy of championships already. You grow up, you're a little kid, you see these, 8 banners flying and legacy players like Jim Brown and then Bernie Kosar. That's number 1 and 2 by most accounts. So you're born into this. So, you don't need hope because you've already come from a legacy, program. You're born into a legacy program. What have they done since 1969? But when you're born into something like that, you already have pride. It's enough in you. And then the culture of your state, of your community is football. So you don't need much. You really don't. And as horrible as they've been, it's fine when you've got 8 chips already.
So let me ask y'all this question. I'm going to add the people in the chat as well as my panel. I'll start with you, Todd Smith. And if y'all knew, that's fine. But how many of y'all knew the name Huntley before yesterday? Put it in the chat. How many of y'all knew the name Huntley before yesterday?
I'm not saying nothing.
I'm saying that for a reason. Because anything that's associated with Shedeur is always blown up, right? I bet you now Huntley is one of the most recognizable names since after 12 o'clock a.m. yesterday. And his name is probably Googled the most right now. And then going forward, he's famous. He was good before, but now everybody's going to know the name Huntley. Nobody's checking for Dylan Gabriel without Shedeur Sanders. So I'm saying that the idea of Shedeur Sanders and the fan base that comes with the Shedeur Sanders name, it ain't something that you should be ignoring if you are an organization and you have the pulse of your organization and your fan base. Ty, I'm gonna get your thoughts on that first.
Yeah, Huntley, he just made himself famous. You absolutely right. I didn't even know too much about Pickett coming into this if he wouldn't own the Eagles, but having Shedeur at your franchise it's bringing a lot of attention to your organization. It's bringing a lot of fans to your organization and followers. But that could be, I think they're maybe looking at it as a gift and a curse. So
All right. Oh, I thought you were done.
no, go ahead, Wild Dog.
Yeah, Wild Dog, let me get your thoughts.
To answer your question directly,
I'm sure you knew Huntley. Come on.
but you know, I have issues. So it's like, I was like, really? But I wasn't surprised because it's the Browns. Last year, 4 different QBs. The year before that, 5 different QBs. I'm like, yeah, they probably gonna need a couple of more. Excuse me. And but Huntley, I was like, wait a minute, it's kind of ringing a bell. Then of course, like he's trending, I looked him up. Then easily I reminded, now I remember. Because he was a Pro Bowler in 2020.
Right, and he was
as a replacement for Lamar Jackson. So
right.
he got Pro Bowl honors. So that's the only reason it rang a bell.
But the name is not on your palette. Like you're not. You had to look it up.
No,
even when DC sent me the stuff, he was like, "Yo, who is Huntley?"
But even most people was like, "Oh, they might kind of casually watch the Pro Bowl or the highlights." Like the Pro Bowl is like not even what it used to be because they only. It's like the NBA All-Star game. They really out there just going through, a light scrimmage or something. So. So fans aren't even about the Pro Bowl like they used to be.
Right. I mean, the Pro Bowl is not really like, it's not something like you're considering it a game. It's just pretty much the fact that you're going to get more money because now you have another notch on your belt as a player.
But it's an honor for him. It's not really his notch. It's Lamar Jackson's notch on his belt. But anyway,
to earn it though, he had to do something to earn it. It's not just he just came in and they gave him a pro, they made him a pro. No, he's a good quarterback.
Oh, he's got a relationship with Lamar Jackson. That's who you got to go through. Coaches can say or do whatever, but it's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson says, "Oh, my teammate or this guy," they gonna override Lamar Jackson? I don't think so. Not being an MVP, they're not gonna do that. They'll find a reason to acknowledge it or confirm it. You see what I'm saying? So,
right.
I got nothing against him, man, because I have a thing for, undrafted free agents. He was an undrafted free agent. That's another reason nobody knows or is familiar who he is. We might watch the draft, every little detail, but if you went undrafted, most fans, we're not paying attention to that. We move on. You know what I'm saying? Only geeks like me are like, who's undrafted, who's landing where. And that's why he got blessed to end up at Baltimore because he was an undrafted free agent. Sometimes being an undrafted free agent, it's a risk, but it gives you that freedom. You pick who you focus your energy on, right? And that's how he focused his energy, end up at Baltimore. So going undrafted ended up being a blessing for him by getting on a better team under a superstar quarterback and ended up at the Pro Bowl. If he had been drafted by, let's say, a Cleveland Brown.
Oh, man.
His career will be over already.
So, but that's the thing that I'm saying.
I will stop Brown bashing, but I can't help it. I'm a Steelers fan. I just remind everybody I was born and raised a Steelers fan. So, hey, me and the Browns don't mix. So,
but yeah, I mean, but everybody's been like Cleveland because of Shedeur. They even came up with this whole tracker that we've been getting. And they never had a tracker before, but now every podcast, every sports podcast, and every media outlet, they want to know what's going on with this process because Shedeur is involved, and Shedeur's name, like he already acknowledged, is a blessing or a curse. It could be a blessing or a curse, but you understand that the name is the name. The name is drawing a lot of attention. You capitalize on that attention by having good intentions. If you're an organization, just have good intentions. I think people don't understand the Shedeur fan base. I think people they think because we're loud and we're demanding. I think they got this notion that we don't know football or how football is supposed to work. Because if you really just stop for 1 second to think about what the demands are, it ain't he sucks and we just want him to start. We're saying he's good, give him a chance. I feel like they're missing that. Do y'all feel the same way? I feel like there's a disconnect between the Shedeur fan base and people who try to clown Shedeur's fan base. Like, you guys don't know anything. You just want Shedeur.
Right.
Are you getting that as well?
I mean, yes, I'm getting that. I understand what you're saying. And as a Shedeur fan, as a NFL fan, as a college fan, I understand the process. I understand where he got picked at. I understand all that. What I don't understand is y'all lied. That's what I don't understand. Because
Right.
none of this would be going on. Like I said in a couple of your shows back, the Cleveland Browns have turned this into a circus. The fans didn't turn this into a circus.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe some that's not familiar with the process of the NFL and the draft order selection and all that, undrafted free agents and all that stuff. They may not know in depth to that extent, but y'all lied because y'all said there's going to be a quarterback competition. But the quarterback competition has been shown unfairly. So now you create all these
Angry fans. Like,
angry fans, exactly.
Yeah. And then you blaming the fans for voicing their for lifting their voice to say, hello, we want our guy. You can't blame us because you created this mess. You said the GM came out and says everybody's going to get an opportunity to play. We don't have our starting quarterback yet. So then a lot of us around here, especially the content creators that have these platforms where people can come in and voice their opinions and have their voices heard, we get excited and we're like, yay, Shedeur's going to get a good opportunity. He's going to get a chance. And then we're watching, we're waiting, and there's no chance. There's nothing there. But yet they're calling us crazy. And I'm like, but wait, you don't get to call us crazy when you promise us something and then give it to us. And all we're doing is just asking you for what you promised. Wild Dog.
Hey, and I understand, it's the NFL, so you got people who live and breathe NFL. They don't know, a lot of them don't know or care about anything about the FBS or college football, period, right? It's like their team, their guys like, oh, this player from this school, this player from that school, it's all a potpourri to them. They don't even care. It doesn't matter to them. So the fact that Shedeur is coming with a huge fan base from his college, with his time from college, they don't care. It's like you show up at an NFL game with a university gear, you probably likely get harassed. A different culture. They don't care at all. They're almost antagonized, by college fans. Unless they have an alma mater of their own, they absolutely do not care, bro. Zero. They care 0%. So and with all of this, it's like, then it's almost like, be humble. That's all I kept hearing. Be humble. Be humble. Even when, Shedeur was at Colorado, be humble. Be humble. Sometimes even with, I spend a lot of time with youth and they're star players and they're looking to make a transition, and I'll hear that rumblings of stay healthy, be focused, and be humble. And I'm like, why is this kid getting to be humble? And I don't necessarily hear that every single time.
You don't hear that across the board.
And it's not like, and I'm like, is it a position or is it something this kid has expressed? I'm like, I'm talking about kid. I'm like the last time I was like, this kid doesn't have a end zone celebration. He does like a Barry Sanders, walks the ball straight to the ref. And maybe he's acknowledging being humble, but that's not the energy I got. So I'm like, maybe I'm trying to figure out sometimes what is it about the kids that get this be humble thing that others don't. And maybe it's different for each of them, which is why I haven't been able to place a finger on it. And I'm not in a role to where I can just straight up ask somebody, you trying to play it cool, be humble myself. You're trying to get the kids, the young people, the young men and women, all the opportunities you can. So you're like a fly on the wall, you're just being in a supportive role. So when I hear this about Shedeur, I'm like, where is this coming from? From his pedigree, from being a TV reality star, from being in hip hop, or all the combination of the above. And NFL, they don't care about any of that stuff. It's just a distraction for them. They care less.
Somebody's gonna have to humble this NFL, man, because I'm at the point where I'm just like, come on, man, you're not too big to fail. I get it and I understand it, but man, somebody's gonna have to humble the NFL.
I've had the same sentiment, Harry B, especially with the whole era with the Kaepernick thing and everything, and
right.
even with the military and other teammates, he got his advice from the military, and the NFL is partners with the military, but you're all on your own thing, and then they didn't even care what the military's position was on it.
Right. He said
he got to take a knee from the military.
He literally got his. He said, "Don't sit down, bro." He said, "Take a knee."
Yeah.
That's what soldiers do. He said, "Don't sit down. Take a knee to represent the flag."
The military historically is the NFL's #1 sponsor and advocate.
Bro, they fly the planes. They fly those whatever the plane numbers are. They're always like having they're always having special moments where they recognize the men in, the troops and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, but this is the thing.
Stance on it.
we're at this place now where the fan. Okay, I think the Shedeur fans and the Cleveland Browns fans, we want to come to a place where we all get to this, like we did with the Colorado fans. Like, you don't really understand now. You don't really know the difference between Deion Sanders, Shedeur fans, Travis Hunter fans. We kind of like are one big family when it comes to Colorado. Yes, you can tell sometimes there's a difference because we are, we are outsiders, and yes, we're gonna be loud sometimes. We're a little different. You can tell we're not from around here. I'm talking about the Colorado versus the Shedeur fans or the Prime fans. But we're here in Cleveland now. We're in Ohio. We want to assimilate. We want to get to know this base, but we need to also know what your temperature is. We need to know what y'all will accept and not accept, because some of us are coming from true football backgrounds, true football communities, where things are done right, where it's not just like a bunch of just nothingness. So when our demands are very football related, even though we're supporting somebody some people think is a firebrand. If you listen very keenly, you will understand what our demands are. It's not outside of the bounds of football. If you listen to the former NFL players, they say the only way that you can tell what a player is about is to play him. And what have we been asking for? Play Shedeur. Why is that such a hard thing for a hard concept for people to understand, for your fan base to understand? We're not your enemy. We are not your enemy. We are here to try to make sure that you guys have a great experience. So where do we go from here? Like, Sayan, what up with you, man? Like, where do we go from here? Like, we want to assimilate. We want to make sure that we all become one big family. But the way that y'all are treating the reason why we're here, we don't accept that. We're never going to accept that. If you accept anything because you think this organization is bigger than you and you don't care, that ain't how our organizations raised us. That's not how our home teams raised us. Our home teams raised us to have respect for them, and they have given us respect. It's a shared experience. We give them enough respect to do their job. The GM is going to go ahead and create the roster, hand that off to the head coach and his staff, and then the head coach is going to then divvy up the roster to the different position groups. We're going to go off and they're going to play a game. They're going to play a season. 16 games before, now 17. And then while we're watching, our eyeballs are going to tell us what we're missing. We're going to be able to tell, oh, dang, we don't have good linebackers. Can nobody stop the run? During the season, we're going to have that, and we're going to be communicating. We're going to be screaming at our TVs. We're going to go on Twitter, all these social media groups that we have in our community, and we're going to start addressing those things. Those things gets back to the organization, and the organization knows that they are hearing us and they respect us by addressing those things. Isn't that how it works, guys? Todd Smith or Wild Dog, y'all let me know. This is how it worked from my football town, and I got a couple of football towns. I mean, college would be North Carolina.
Yeah.
Home team would be the Washington Redskins. Now where I live at is in New York. So now the Giants, the Jets, the Buffaloes, and everything that's in the area. That's how they treat us as a fan base. How do they treat y'all as a fan? Let's get Todd first, and then Waldo, you can go. How does your home team treat you, Todd Smith?
Well, you know, I'm originally from Louisiana, so I'm a Saints fan and LSU fan, man. So
how do they treat you as a part of the fan base? What is the relationship between the fans and the Saints? How do they treat y'all? How did they raise y'all?
I mean, we grew up with loving the Saints, man, and hating them. LSU, you breathe, eat, sleep LSU football in Louisiana. Like, and here in Dallas, I see the same thing. Regardless of how bad they are, man, they love the Dallas Cowboys. They love.
Yeah, but if y'all have a grievance, I'm asking a question of relationship between fan base and organization, coaching staff, etc. I'm saying, what is the relationship between you guys and the organizations? Do y'all have some type of way of answering having your grievances answered in the off season?
In New Orleans, they listen to the fan base. I mean, they hear the concerns of the fan base because they interact in the community too.
There you go.
So they hear it. You know what I mean? Sean Payton, when he was with New Orleans, it's like he would be in the community, bro. Like, New Orleans is like a family-driven based community. So you see these people out in public, man, that you be like, dang, I can't believe he's here, you know. But you interact with the community down there so much, and the vice versa. Here, now that the Cowboys do a lot of things with the community. On a daily basis, they open their facilities up to the communities as well. Wild Dog can testify to that. So, but I'm gonna let him speak right now.
Yeah, Wild Dog, how did your home team raise you?
So, I get confused about that. So when you said home team, I was first thinking about, my birthplace. But of course, I'm home in Dallas, so I can do one or the other, both. So I mean, well, let me start. I grew up.
And before you go, let me let the chat get involved with this.
Okay.
If you have a home team, chat, how is your home team raising you?
Right.
I hope y'all understand the question. Like, how's your home team treating you? What's the relationship between organization, coaching staff, and you guys, the fan base? There's a reason why we're talking about this. Go ahead, Waldo.
So, growing up a Steelers fan, right? Mm-hmm. Back in the day, we didn't have all the social media. So, of course, you had, fan clubs, but you could write letters. And oftentimes, depending on the nature of your letter or the timeliness of it, it would actually get published in the newspaper in Pittsburgh. And then there would actually sometimes be a response from the owner, Rooney, or, a head coach, Chuck Noll, or Cowher. I mean, it's just tradition. You see what I'm saying? So there would actually be an integral part of the Steeler Nation being able to communicate, regardless of what part of the country. If you was able to get a letter in, and even now it's like we'll have virtual meetings, we'll have virtual community meetings with Steeler Nation. Like I'll get emails, I'll get texts from the Steelers saying, "Oh, we're doing this event. If you can make it in person, you can't make it in person." We've been doing virtual events since the late '90s, since the technology really kicked in. You know, I get me in my office, you know, like we are now in conference with other Steelers fans, and there would be somebody with a camera taking us through the whole event. So, you know, that's one of the things the Steelers are really, really good at is like, even though they really, you know, six championships, 6 Super Bowl championships, why do they have to care? Why do they have to worry about it? But that's part of the culture of who they are, knowing that all phases of the game, we're going to be 100%. We're gonna do it the right way and be the best at it, you know, with our organization, with our team, and with our fan base. So with the Steelers, it's a whole nother level. With the Green Bay, the city of Green Bay owns their team. That's a whole nother level, right? So it's not like there's not any precedence for it. And then as Mr. Smith hinted at with the Cowboys, man, you got tours every day. You got all kind of events and opportunities for you as a fan, even just a regular football fan. You don't have to be a Cowboys fan. Come take a tour, come see the offices, right? You can go up to the Star, you can go to the stadium, you can have venues, right? You can have your wedding rehearsal or your birthday party at the stadium or at the Star. I mean, just it's integral. It's accepted as an integral part of it. And the Cowboys are the #1 franchise in the world and have been for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
They have to worry about it. They're not making any money off of tours. They're not making any money.
But they still do it. You see what you said?
But
they're the #1, but they're still involved with the fan base, and they still have a respect, you know.
And as an employee back in the day, still I'm sure now you have to brainstorm new ideas on how you can get the fans more integrated and involved in different ways. Not excluding them, not shutting them away, but having trying to garner more fans, and the fans you've got, you know, maintaining them and keeping them, you know, more integrally involved with the program, with the organization. That's facts.
So there's there's a couple of Cleveland Brown fans in here. While everybody is saying, you know, the organization and the fan base, you know, they're good, the Cleveland Brown fans are saying the opposite. That's why it's so weird. Like, you got 2 Cleveland Brown fans and saying, look, Ray Williams says, I'm born and raised in Ohio, but it's a sad state of mind because we see the gatekeepers, but the money controls the narrative. You feel me? And another person said, Browns fans, this is Jeffrey Champion says, Browns fans,
wow,
we get no answers. The coaching staff is stubborn. They kept Deshaun Watson at quarterback for 7 weeks. Joe Flacco made the playoffs, did not bring him back, so it's not too good. So, I mean, all the other fan bases are saying there's a relationship when, like, the Browns fan base would tell you we're lacking. Like, what are the Browns lacking? If you are a Browns fan, what are you guys lacking? Tell me what y'all are lacking, because I've heard a few of them that said that they were lacking wide receivers. Travis Hunter was available to you, and you skipped him. LeJohntay Wester is killing it right now in Baltimore. You skipped him. So the fan base, they're not blind.
Don't forget about Jimmy Horn.
Was Jimmy Horn available to them as well? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, because they had the second. Jimmy Horn, who's at Carolina right now, another one of the Louis boys, was available on the board. You skipped them.
Yeah.
So if your fan base knows, they're very aware of what's going on. They know what the holes are that need to be plugged, and you totally keep ignoring them. The relationship is sour. It's not there.
Harry B, I know I'm an old head, but look, I know we're all concerned about how they're treating Shedeur, but let me temper it a bit because it is the Browns. I mean,
but that's what we're talking about.
But I'm just saying, but like when you have Hall of Famers, right? Or you have, you know, world-class athletes, there comes a time when they don't belong to you anymore. They belong to the world. They belong to all of sports. So I clearly remember rumblings, and there was issues on how the Browns organization, even their relationship with Jim Brown. How do you not manage that? And
Wait,
even
they
if
had a problem with
and,
the number one player
and
in the NFL
in
history.
history, yes, and even when Bernie Sanders, the last QB that led them to their division title, after he left,
Wait, you said Bernie Sanders again?
Oh man, Bernie Kosar. My bad. Thank you, Harry B. Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar. There was issues and rumblings with how they were treating Bernie. Now Bernie's in his upper years. They try to resolve that and have him welcome, and he's at camp this year and things like that. But give people their flowers before they're dead. Don't wait till they're dead to give them their flowers, man. That's the Browns. If you have issues with your relationship with Jim Brown and with Bernie Kosar, you got much deeper, long-rooted issues than how they treat their current players. And I'm just saying, I just want to temper it with that.
All right, let's bring on.
So Shedeur's not the first quarterback that they disrespected, and they had every reason to treat Bernie Kosar with full respect and honors.
I'm trying to get away from the name Shedeur just so we can get an understanding that we're trying to have a decent conversation. We're not. So the conversation is not just Shedeur.
So that's why I'm giving the big picture of how they have a legacy of treating their legends with issues.
Right, because we're new fans and we need to know where we at. So let's bring on DC. DC, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing today, man? Thank you for calling in.
Doing fantastic. How y'all fellas doing?
All is well, brother.
All is well, man.
It's all right.
Who's your home team, DC, and what's the relationship between fans and organization?
Cowboys all day.
All right. And we already heard from the Cowboys, but do you have a different story to add, like how the Cowboys communicate with their fan base?
Cowboys, man, they are top notch. They all up in your face, everywhere. They call it America's team. They get on TV a lot, so they do a good job. Am I happy how they've been doing player personnel? Absolutely not. I don't. It's just a mixture between if I got good players, but coaches, making Dak a franchise QB, but not. He not playing like one, and like we seem to get close, but never seem to get over that hump.
So, but at least they address your needs, right? Like, because
yes, they do.
Base, right? You see what I'm saying? From a fan base perspective, they when you guys talk, they do stuff to let you know they're listening.
Yes. Hey, Harry B. Even with the world-class cheerleaders who are everywhere, the whole team is everywhere, always busy. Them ladies roll up in a limousine because a fan commented that they deserve better respect than to roll up in their own personal vehicles. And then Jerry Jones made the change so that any appearance, right, the ladies roll up in a limousine. So they have a dedicated limousine driver and service. And then when fans complain that, the cheerleaders and the mascot is not always available, right? Then someone had the idea, especially with Texas being a hub, they fully customized a 18-wheeler. So the Cowboys have an 18-wheeler that goes out in the community, travels all over the place, making appearances, bro. And that stemmed from comments from truckers, from fans, and then they made it happen. So the truck rolls out, it opens up, and it's like a whole venue of it's like a whole Cowboys adventure within itself, bro.
Yeah, I will tell you one of the greatest moments in my life was actually flying past, because we couldn't fly over it, but flying past. We were on a mission going to actually we were on our way to El Paso. And I was like, man, let me just save it. Let me just savor this moment for a while. I can't go down there, but let me look at it, man. It's a beautiful thing, but that's not the stadium they have now. It wasn't Jerry World. But here's something I'm gonna say about the Browns. All right, so here's the thing. That's what the thing I'm gonna say. This is probably the one time I'm gonna say Shedeur in this thing conversation is that, because you're right, Harry. Here's the thing, folks. We just said the pieces aren't around him. So you can ask for him to be QB1, but understand what you're going to see. It's not going to look like what you think, because this is not like college. If you don't have the pieces, you are not going to do it. You can have a phenomenal quarterback back there being toe out the frame. It is what it is. And if you think about it, they tried to draft. They got like a Mason Graham first round. They got Carson Swexton, linebacker, UCLA second round. But they got a running back, which now that running back is not on there. They had to go sign a running back from the UFL. Then third round, they also got Harold Fanning Jr. He's doing pretty good. Got Dylan Gabriel third pick, Dylan Sampson running back.
Oh, so
They're working at three.
Your Ohio kid is he's not.
Yeah, he ain't there. He's still. So see, what
he's
happens,
still dealing with that situation,
bro? So here's the thing that's going on with the Browns. It's like they'll draft people, and then something will happen, and then it just totally like they seem to be missing on key pieces, especially on offense. They do pretty decent on the defense. You know, you got Miles there, and you got a couple of good pieces there, right? Wild Dog and Tim, you got it. It's just that, man, that offense has always been there. So now y'all have to consider who wants to put a rookie back there behind a allegedly subpar line and no season running back because Nick Chubb is gone. That spells disaster to me.
Hey, because DC, one of my bullet points was that O-line is not fixed.
yeah.
So,
It ain't fixed, bro. It's not fixed. That's
I mean,
what I'm saying.
you can tell that in the practices. You can see in the practices either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur, they're running for their lives. If you really look closely, a lot of those passes that they say we're counting as a completion, those were sacks.
Yeah,
those were sacks.
Harry, that's why I was saying what I was saying yesterday, because I went back and looked at the film. I was like, oh my God, most of these is stacks.
Yeah. Most of those passes, hey, they got stats, but most of those are, you can literally see the guy getting in there, touching the quarterback, and then pulling up.
Right. That's why I wasn't so willing. I was pushing back on the trash thing, which again, everybody's right to say that, but it was because I was watching it. I mean, bro, by the time he turned around, it was over. The play was over. Because that line. So, I mean, I'm just keeping in the buckets that it doesn't matter who you put back there. And I feel sorry because think about this. Even if we kind of think about it, you know, with Shedeur's arm, is Shedeur trying to gun it because he ain't got much time? Are the other backs, because you should, hamstring injury only be coming if you're trying to be, you know, sprint fast. But if you got people coming at you, think about it. 3 of your quarterbacks got injured. Now something don't seem so right on that. But again, I just
injured from like no contact. Like, what are you? We're not even doing anything. But y'all hold that thought. Let me bring on Tennis. It's been a minute. Tennis ain't been here for a minute. Welcome back to the channel, Tennis Channel. What up with you, man? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes, sir. Can you hear us?
I miss you guys. You guys know I'm from New Orleans, huh?
Hey, man, we miss you too,
Y'all
brother.
know I'm from New Orleans, huh?
But why you sounding like you didn't have too many daiquiris this morning?
Oh man, it's been a long journey. You know, life ain't nothing but a journey, brother. It's been a long
day
journey.
already.
I'm still on the journey.
I'm messing with you, brother.
On bourbon.
That's okay. You're about right. I don't drink, but I feel like I have one though, boy. A couple.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, I'm from New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. So I'm from New Orleans,
old people
Louisiana.
medicine speaking to his pores.
Tim, are you from New Orleans too? We remember back in the days when we wore bags, man. We went to the game, but we wore bags. We were at the game. We supported the team, but they showed them how we support. Look, and we had the worst team in the league. And a lot of people remember those doggone bags. Oh, my God.
Are you talking about those brown bags you had to wear over your face?
Those brown paper bags, brother. I remember the brown paper bags.
And it's communication to the organization to let them know also. It's like a double message, right? It has double meanings, right? Like, hey, man, we stinking up the place.
But Harry, guess what? We showed up.
What?
We showed up, right? Even if we didn't like the team, we showed up in support of the team. Those brown paper bags represent that we don't like you, you suck, but we here.
But we here, right. That's what I said. That's why I said those brown paper bags. They're sending multiple messages. So let me ask you, what is your They already talked about some of their teams. What is the communication between the fan base and your home team?
Oh, it's down in New Orleans, man. They're tough, brother. They stay with their Saints, man. Even though even we had the number one quarterback in the NFL, Archie Manning, and we couldn't win a game, hardly. We never got to a Super Bowl. The fan base back then when I was coming up, and it's still strong. We love our Saints. I talk to my sister now. We love our Saints, man. That's just that. It's just that fan base love for it. I mean, you're born and raised in the city. Okay, that's pretty much all you have. So we're very loyal. I mean, and we'll tell you, hey, you suck, you stink this year. How the Saints doing? Oh man, they ain't winning nothing.
But at least that you guys are loyal, but the love and the respect is there. You feel me? Like,
but Harry,
they hear you guys when y'all have grievances. They hear you, and they say, "Hey," they'll do things to let you know they hear you, whether it's on a message board or it's through a draft or acquisition, a trade on the deadline. They're answering the questions, or they're saying, "Hey, we respect your opinion. We love you because we're in this all together." Football towns, like if you live in a football town, you know that the team and the community are in sync by how they move. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's not just about turkeys, it's not just about the handing out of turkeys where things people just do out of share. Oh, I'm a human being and I want to look like I'm doing a good thing. But like the community, if the community and that team is in sync, man, y'all can lose for years and y'all wouldn't care.
Hey, but those Saints games.
Oh yeah, we care. We care. So don't think they don't care.
No, I mean, you would care, but it's like the love is there. That's what makes you keep coming, because it's a shared experience. That's what I'm trying to say.
Harry, why do you think I'm such a loyal Buff fan, man? Here in New Orleans, Louisiana, I'm living in California now. From New Orleans, living in California, and go Buff.
Wild Dog, what you want to say? What would you want to add?
Hey, but them Saints games though. So I mean, we talk about being integrating the culture of your community. Man, I know Cowboys games are off the chain. Sometimes it's like you get caught up in the parking lot tailgating. It's like it's game time. It's like, oh yeah, it's like
that's a game going on, right?
There's people, all they do is get a season ticket, you get a season parking pass, and the parking lots are off the chain, man.
But we also got to look at.
You drink. It's like, hey man, I'm walking to the stadium like this, and you know what I'm saying. And so the Saints, oh my goodness, you taste in New Orleans, you go to Saints games. Oh, that's crazy. So that cultural experience of being in New Orleans, being in Louisiana, the Saints game is the epitome of that. So being at the game, outside or inside, it's a really good time. It's so entertaining. It's sports entertainment. Yeah. So if you disconnect with your community, you're gonna miss it all.
Hey, Margo, let me say this before DC wants to come in, but let me say this. I was watching a documentary, and one team that stuck out to me when it comes to community versus organization and how they all sync is Green Bay, the Green Bay Packers. I was watching that. I'm watching that documentary, and I said, "Wow, the people are the team, and the team are the people. There is no difference." But DC, go ahead. I just wanted to say that, like when you think about communities and like football towns, the Green Bay Packers is one team, because I saw their documentary. It's like they're one team that I think about when I think about how the team and the community are in sync. Go
See,
ahead, and then I'll bring on Ron Tate.
right. See, I can piggyback off of that because, like, they've been talking about like the cold teams in the cold area, all of them having domes, and they were saying it's probably the one place where they're going to be absolutely against it is Green Bay. They want it to be doggone 20 below and be out there screaming. But I do want to sit back and say, as we transition over to Ryan Tate, is that I do have mad respect for the dog pound because they're going to show up no matter what and have been showing up for decades after decades after decades. They probably look drunk as all get out with dog mask on, but there is a segment of them that is just as hardcore as the rest of them.
That is true. I mean, I do hear that they sell out their tickets, their home games, but I'm advocating for the organization to start paying them back with respect, because they're saying, "Hey, man, we need this and we need that." You can't keep ignoring them. You gotta lock in with them because they're giving you their loyalty. Y'all all seen those coming of age movies where the girl that loves you so much, she's right there in your face, she's doing everything for you, but you're ignoring her. Eventually, she finds her man, and then that's when you start getting jealous. And she was right there doing everything that you wanted while you were chasing everybody else. So yeah, man, like I hear stories that the dog pound they're locked in with their community, but I mean, the fans are asking y'all for wide receivers. They're asking y'all for a good offensive line. Y'all gotta start listening. Ron Tate, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, guys. Hello, everyone. Wild Dog.
Hey, Ron Tate.
DC.
Hey,
I don't have
Ron,
my
how you
glasses.
doing,
I
brother?
guess. Oh, Tennis Channel. Oh,
Tennis
how you
is
doing,
back.
Ron?
Tennis is
Yes,
on
sir.
in the building.
I'm in
So,
the
Ron,
building. How about that?
One show. I think this is one of the original group. We just mentioned one person. I think.
yeah, man, we got the old band back together.
Yeah.
X-Man, what up with
We
you?
missing Phil though.
Nah,
Yeah.
Phil got Doge issues. Hey, Ron Tate, what's your home team, and what is your relationship with the fan base and and your home team?
Well, Washington.
Oh, the Redskins, our Redskins.
Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Washington. Way back when Allen was the coach, Larry Brown was the running back. Used to carry the ball 30, 35, 40 times a game. And it was 2 yards or 4 yards in a cloud of dust.
Hey, Ron, do you remember the undefeated season?
I do.
Oh man,
I
me
do.
and Ron, we can share stories all day about our Redskins, boy.
I remember the Cowboys undefeated. Was it the Cowboys?
Yo, how many rivalries does the Cowboys have? Because I feel like they got it with the Giants, they got it with the Redskins. There's got to be another team. How many rivalries
Detroit.
can you have?
Detroit, the Eagles,
Yeah.
Eagles, big time.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Well, the Eagles, and man, I remember when my brother was playing with the Lions, and they had a preseason game at Philadelphia. And we went up there. We're going to support him, and my goodness, he just got in the game, and we started cheering. Shoot, they made us shut up, and they were serious. and we weren't. We're not a small. We were in a small group. I mean, in numbers, but as far as size of the guys that we were all there, shoot, we humbled ourselves right on down.
Detroit ain't no joke, boy.
Hey, so
Detroit.
I got a question for you, DC and Tennis, since y'all just coming on. The Cleveland Browns' biggest donors are the fan base, right? Shedeur's fans are new to the Cleveland Browns. Should the Browns be ignoring Shedeur's fans? DC, we're going to start with you.
My bad. So should the Browns be ignoring their biggest fans? I don't think that they're necessarily ignoring their fans. I just think that they just have had a string of bad decisions and unfortunately bad breaks of injuries and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, if you look down all the people they've drafted, they have drafted number one quarterbacks, Heisman trophies. We looked at the remember we went back and looked at the top 30 QBs, and it was like 7 or 8 of them had played for the Browns. So it's not that they haven't, and it's not that they have had haven't had good receivers and players. It's just that for some reason they have not been able to put it all together at once. And if you think about that, that's not an easy task to do.
But I feel like the way that you're ignoring the Shedeur fan base is by getting Huntley, by keeping Shedeur on the sidelines, and not. I mean, we're talking about the first couple of weeks one show that you drafted these two quarterbacks and you want to get them out the way quickly. So
Well, I'm gonna be hon-
that's what former NFL players are saying. Former NFL players are like, "Hey, man, get them out the way. Let's see what let's see what we got, right?" So I say they're ignoring the Shedeur fans because they didn't follow the normal protocol that these former NFL players are saying. Hey, you're supposed to just put people out there and get them out the way because by the time preseason comes, you're getting ready to install and start going with your people that you know that are going to take you into the season.
So I'm gonna say this. Understand this. This is not what DC thinks. This is what might be going on. So I need to just stress this. Okay. So I agree with your statement, but I also know sometimes what they look like aren't what they seem. If it is true, and this is a very big if there's something that's not going on in the film room where they're asking about coverages or they're asking about things, I'm not saying this is, but I'm not willing to sit. If we want to say, hey, they're just mismanaging them, they ain't treating them right, stuff like that, that's fine. I get it. I'm just saying is that if there is something else going on and how the shroud is there to protect him, I'd like to know that because I would like to sit back and just join everybody and go, yeah, they ain't treating them right. No, I mean, even when I was telling you, I said, this doesn't make any sense. But I also have seen enough stuff in life to go, sometimes what you don't want to accept might actually be the truth.
Well,
But, hold on, before you go, let me just throw this in the mix. At some point, the communication and how you communicate with the fan base, you control that narrative, right? So if the truth is not being communicated, if somebody is not saying something, then we're going to come up with our own conclusions. So we don't mind. It's not like the fan base or Shedeur's fans don't like the truth, but it cannot be the truth if it's not a known thing. It's speculation.
Well,
We cannot treat speculation as the truth.
okay, well, what I'm saying is this though. I get exactly what you're saying, but I mean, we're not going to expect the team to come out and just trash him or say that because then that'll bring up stuff where you will be saying he's treated unfairly. Here's why I'm saying what I'm
But the
saying.
evidence is the only thing that we know. That's
Right,
all. That's
right,
all
right.
there is.
But here's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Is this one thing that kind of caught my eye, and it was the whole thing of when they said that the Giants were saying should didn't come in, he wasn't professional, he didn't know stuff, he had headphones on, stuff like that. It was when I saw this thing where it said that it's allegedly that that as far as the tape for the Giants and Shedeur, that the Sanders family and the Browns threatened to sue the Giants if they released it. Now I'm going, well, if it's going to show what was said was wrong, why wouldn't you release it? So that's just a question I have to be able to totally mitigate. All right, something may not be going on, because think about it. They don't just take reps on the field, they take reps in the film room, and they're giving Shedeur a lot more 7-on-7. And I'm going, that doesn't make any sense. So I get what you're saying as far as evidence. I'm just basically saying is I'm not blaming anything on Shedeur. It's just to a point of, well, I really would like to know, why aren't you giving him first team reps, especially at this point? Why aren't you doing it? Is it that you really don't want him there? Then cut him. But if it's not, then what is it?
Well, there is one bit of evidence, Harry B. There is a quote.
After you go, then Tennis Channel's gonna go. He was next.
Interject real quick. There is a quote from Stefanski saying to Joe Flacco, Shedeur wasn't born. And that's kind of a statement that's kind of dismissive, indicating someone being inexperienced or, yeah.
Shedeur wasn't what?
Shedeur wasn't born.
Born? What do you mean?
It's like a dismissive insult. It's a negative connotation, meaning that you're not knowledgeable, you're inexperienced, you're green behind the ears, like more severe. So this was a quote that Stefanski said to Joe Flacco.
Shedeur wasn't born.
Yeah.
Is that a black African American thing? Because I've never heard that before.
No, but it's not normally used. Other phrases are normally used, like you're green behind the ears, or something like that. But yeah, that's what that means.
All right. Go ahead, Tennis.
The owners are weird, man. They still view those guys as property, but that's another story. Listen, I'm a Cleveland Brown fan only because Shedeur is there. Okay, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. That's the only, I've heard some horror stories about ownership. Now the fan base is strong, but about the ownership and about what they've done. Do you think the things that they're doing now is never been done before? What they're doing now, they've repeatedly done it over and over and over and over and over again. That's what I'm getting from the fan base and from the guys that are reporting on Cleveland. So read like said, read the tea leaves, man. If it's a skunk, it's gonna smell like a skunk. So ownership is another thing. They're gonna do what they want to do no matter what. Remember, it's the bottom line. Everything leads to the money. Follow the money, you're gonna find the root of all issues. It's about with the ownership, and it's the bottom line. We fans, we come in, and they'll use us. They'll give us what they want us to hear, like i.e., Prime. Prime gives you what you need to know. But they ain't going to tell you everything. He's really not supposed to tell you everything. But as a fan base, we have a tendency to, well, if they're not going to tell us a story, we'll just make up a story. Well, that ain't right. But, like I'm saying, it's I've been hearing some stories, and this is from the fan base and from Cleveland, from listening. The fact that they love their team, but it's ownership that has, even though ownership is involved in the community, that's one thing that Shedeur did when he went there. He went straight to the community. Okay, and so and why is it such? If they're involved in the community, why is there such collateral damage? Because that's where they get their most pushback from. So they can give you what they want to give you, pretty much, So
let me add something to what you said. When you said like they're not going to tell us everything, I think that's it's true. But organizations that do this well, they know how to navigate and just be upfront with the fan base. Like their yes is their yes, their no is their no, and that's where I think that's where we had that little segment about your team and your communication between the team and you, right? It's just understanding that we respect that you are the professionals, and the GM is going to do their job with the roster, The coach is going to coach. We get that. We're just fans. We're on the outside. We're looking in. But the organization has a certain way of respecting what the fans are seeing and how they feel, their grievances. They know that. And they know how to communicate that. So they don't take that for granted. The organizations that do that well, they understand how to do that. So they don't disrespect you by saying, you don't know anything about football. We're not going to tell you everything about that. No, they're just going to say, we have a quarterback competition, and it's going to be a quarterback competition. And then we just take it for face value. And then we see a quarterback competition. They're not going to tell us, oh, what went into choosing which quarterback. They just said there was a competition. And you can see that there was a competition. But when the organization comes out and they start sending mixed messages, that's where the fan base starts getting a little weary, because we don't know what the organization is saying. You can't say one thing and do another. If you have kids, you will understand that. Kids are paying attention and they're listening to you.
So Harry, go back.
Say one thing and then do another and expect to get respect from that.
But Harry, go back to that chat. The gentleman in the chat a few minutes ago that said something about Shedeur. Can I read that one more time? There's something to what the guy just said about Shedeur being born and not made.
Oh, that's X-Men was explaining what it's like. You're born with the talent. You're not. It's not. This is what X-Men was saying, meaning he was born. He wasn't born. It was. I guess it's short for not being born with the talent. He was made, meaning his talent came through training and not his genes, like his dad.
Listen, that boy is a very talented athlete. That's one thing he's leaving out of. I mean, that's good. What he said is pretty much true. And for owners to say that, they're saying, now let's try to read between the lines, because that's why he put it out there like that. He wasn't a pure blood. See, white quarterbacks, that's always what they quote, the pure blood. Okay? So, in other words, you were born to be a quarterback. Born? Huh?
Are white quarterbacks born?
No, but this is what they think. I'm telling you the way they think now. They believe that if you're white, you want to be a quarterback. Hey, you want to be a football player, you're the quarterback, because you're supposed to be intelligent. You're supposed to be smart. You're supposed to be, and number one, you're not non-black. So because the stigma on black players was you're not smart, you're not this, you're not that, and you're not that. They tell you everything you're not except what you are. So that's kind of like when he said that, that through he was trained to be a quarterback. The boy was born to be that way. He was born that. Now he had some training that had to come along with it, but the natural skill, the natural talent is there. We've had many black quarterbacks.
Let me take a poll.
Outplay a lot. Huh?
Raise your hands who think Shedeur was born. Wild Dog.
Okay. Pedigree matters. The pedigree and the training together. Okay. It all matters.
Todd Smith. Todd Smith, raise your hand if you agree that Shedeur was born, or do you think Shedeur was made? He might be off his audio for now. Ron Tate, you still here? I just want to get a panel roundtable. Tennis, do you think? Oh, you said he was born. DC, do you think Shedeur was born or was he made?
He was born with some pretty solid talent, but I think also being who his dad was, he was surrounded by a lot of training as well, some superior training. So he's got the raw skills, but he's had better training than what you would say most folks. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, you watching Tom Brady and he's exposing you to Troy Aikman and stuff like that. You can't beat that.
Right. I mean, that's a blessing to be able to have those people around you because of your dad.
And
yes, it is.
Stephen Charles, what up with you? Sock passe, Stephen Charles. Go ahead, Wild Dog.
Look. Oh, Wild Dog, go ahead.
Wild Dog, go ahead. You had your hand raised.
Oh yeah, Harry B. It's like I'm kind of pulling punches because, I mean, we weren't in the QB room with them, but Stefanski is essentially a white American. So, and the more common phrase we would hear was like, I wasn't born yesterday. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. Mm-hmm. So this is the converse of that. someone saying you're not, you weren't born, is saying you are a bit naive, maybe a bit, undereducated or lacking knowledge. So let me just be clear. I was pulling punches because it's kind of, as a Shedeur fan and having watched him in person, I'm here in Dallas, play and grow up, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But that was Stefanski to Flacco in the QB room. I don't know what they were doing at the time, but that's the quote, and that's the direct reference from Stefanski's culture. Okay, so I wasn't born yesterday.
What's the context? What was the context? You remember?
It was just in the QB room, and they were in a meeting.
Was Shedeur there?
Yeah, and it was Stefanski's comment directly to Flacco, not to Shedeur, saying he wasn't born. So the opposite of that is, I wasn't born yesterday. You're denying being naive or green behind the ears or stupid or lacking knowledge. So Stefanski's comment was that, he's naive, he lacks knowledge, he's perhaps not one of us. But we haven't heard from the OC.
Where is this coming from?
We haven't heard from the QB. We haven't heard from the QB coach. We haven't heard from the OC at all. Stefanski. But we already know. Yeah, but we already know Stefanski didn't want Shedeur. Shedeur wasn't Stefanski's pick.
Nobody wanted Shedeur.
So that wasn't surprising.
I mean, it's obvious that nobody wanted him. So
apparently Barry did. He was the only one. He took heat over it.
No, but did you see Barry's face?
Yeah, the picture they're painting is that Barry stuck his neck out, which then would make sense why.
You believe that?
Barry's kind of, just taking, if you look at what they're saying, and then Barry's energy, was kind of, not kind of normal, kind of, you're going to come and work with, you're going to this and that, because he got a heat on him from everybody else. If I stick my neck out for you, then that makes for a different kind of situation. Then I might come at with you was like, don't cost me my job. You got to come here and work. You got to earn it because your job's on the line and my job's on the line, kind of thing.
Hey, can I say something to that? Well, Harry?
Yeah, say something. But before you say something, tell me was Shedeur born or made?
I ain't never heard the phrase he was born. So I can't even elaborate on that. Like,
all right, say what you want to say.
Said he wasn't.
Hey, Harry, Harry, I could. Here's the reason
hold on. He has something to say. I don't want him to lose his thought. Go ahead, Ty Smith. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, to what Wild Dog just talked about. But if Barry put his neck on the line and vouched for him, wouldn't you say that was a good vouch? Because the numbers aren't lying. You know what I mean? So I think that if Stefanski or the owner didn't want him and Barry, put his neck out there, we already know. Shedeur fans, we already know what he's about, how he comes off, how mature he is. Are we in the room? No. But the picture for us to view, we can draw our own conclusions and assumptions of it. But he should be having more opportunity than what he's having. And I feel like not giving him the opportunity to go with the ones, which I could care less at this point. I stated that yesterday.
Right,
if
at
he's
this
going
point,
against,
we over it.
Yeah, if he's going against the one defenses, then that's good enough for me. Because if he's able to carve out that y'all first team defense with the second team, that just showed to me that y'all defense suck. But I feel like the way they treat him in preseason going forward is gonna tell me that's gonna be putting a period on everything for me as far as what y'all really think about this young man and if y'all even want to keep him around, which I really hope they get rid of him, but trade him to another team.
Yeah, okay. Here's what I was saying about also about the statement too, is that listen, we okay. I believe. Look, he's a born athlete with all the skills needed to be a good player. You guys notice that he was trained to be in the pocket. Most of our black quarterbacks, they get, hey, if I don't see nothing the first time, I'm taking off running. And we can do that well. So he learned how to stay in the pocket, which they taught, that quarterback position. But when the black quarterback came along, he said, well, look, if I don't see it or if I'm not reading anything, I'm going to take it off and run it. I.e. Lamar Jackson. He'll take off on you in a minute. And it scares the hell out of it. Excuse the French there. But it scares the heck out of everybody else because they know that if he don't do it, he's going to run it. But that's wear and tear. So if you look at the way his dad trained him well. Stay in the pocket, son. If you guys think you should do okay to run, y'all been blind. You're blinded. You're not looking at the athlete that's him. You notice every time he ran, he got some good yardage on running. So the boy know how to run. But what they're teaching him how to do, if you're going to play in the pros and professional, you got to be a really good pocket passer. Has he proved he can do that? Yes, he has, with his accuracy and with his arm. We watched him. Henry, we watched him all year.
Are you trying to sell Shedeur right now?
Huh? Yeah, we watched him. You ain't got to sell Shedeur
to this crowd. We
watched him play.
Are you singing a choir song that we all know?
Huh? Why should there be a debate among us?
You trying to sell Shedeur to
Shedeur? What he can do.
You trying to sell Shedeur to a Shedeur fan?
Out there.
Hey, he's selling to the haters, Harry. He's selling to the haters.
Yeah,
there's not too many here right now. Let me get RC 1963 in here. He says Stefanski was playfully pointing out that Sanders wasn't around when Flacco experienced certain events, using the phrase, Joe, Shedeur wasn't born. He wasn't born then. So I just want to. That's why I was gonna ask, was he joking? But I didn't ask at that point. But I always like to get perspective or context on what was going on. So if he was saying, if Joe and them, they were having a conversation and Joe was like, oh yeah, when you don't remember when I had that pass, you don't remember when I threw that pass in the end zone in the Super Bowl and we won, you don't remember that? And then Stefanski's like, Joe, he wasn't born. Right? So it's like if it was like that, like, bro, he wasn't born, bro. Like you're old. You're really telling your age right now.
Because I got the raw quote with like the circumstance. I'm just like, really? Somebody?
Yeah. So let's clear that. Let's make sure we clear that up.
I'm like,
see how it opened it up for discussion. It opened the whole thing up for discussion about a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I'm like somebody nicknamed Grown. That's a complete direct contradiction to his whole life, his whole 20. I'm like, that's a direct contradiction to everything he's been and everything I know him to be.
That's why context matters.
Somebody, you would say, oh, somebody that's been here before, you name him Grown, and you're gonna say he's green. It's like, I don't think so, bro.
Yeah, so that's the context. He was saying he wasn't born when
I'll take this spin. I'll quote RC. I'll add that and add.
Yeah,
RC.
yeah. I'd rather have.
RC.
I'm thinking that's more like along the context of how you presented it. So I would take that. RC.
I'm gonna quote RC from now on. I'm like, yeah, he said this, but I'm gonna quote RC.
Yeah. So salute to RC 1963 for setting us straight. Because if we get something wrong, we want to make sure we correct it on this show. We're not just gonna run with. We're not going to run with narratives that are negative, especially once we get corrected.
Yeah, well, I got what I got, Harry B, and I could send it to you, but hey, I didn't like that one bit. I'm like, that's somebody taking it, and maybe they had more information. Maybe they knew what RC said, but they were using that clip of it to spin their narrative. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
That don't sit well with me.
Right. Somebody who doesn't do.
Was they watching film? What was this? Like you just say, Stefanski to Flacco. In the QB media, I'm like, nah, bro.
Well, I hate agendas, man. If there's one thing I hate, it's agendas. Especially when somebody, even though Stefanski, he's doing this weird thing to Shedeur, I'm never the kind of guy that's going to try to misquote him or try to paint him in a picture that he isn't painting. So we're never going to do that around here. Yeah. So that's why we love this. Is like the original cast.
I can quote at the quote, and then
Yeah.
He had me thinking about it, and I wasn't gonna leave DC hanging.
So where you got it from? The person
holding back on some evidence, because you asked
Yeah.
that. So I'm like, well, why would I hold back on DC and you? I'm like, well, there is this bit of a quote I read. So, but hey, thank you, RC.
Hey guys, it's 12:10. I gotta get up out of here, but let me get y'all on tape. This is the final question.
Let me go first, Harry, since I've been working.
Yes, Ron.
Let me go. Let me go. Let me go.
This is the final question. So they made a decision to go and get Huntley. What exactly, if Huntley plays well, what happens with the rest of the quarterbacks in that room? Ron Tate, go ahead.
Well, I think they'll definitely have a decision whether they're going to continue this charade with Shedeur and cut him or release him or put him on waivers, or they're going to have to put their job on the line and send Gabriel out of there, which is the worst.
They keep 6 quarterbacks.
Or they definitely won't be able to do that. And another thing, you all were talking about teams. That owner has really put a bad bone in a lot of players' mouth by doing what he did to Shedeur, making that comment about him in public. And as far as teams and the fan base, remember New Orleans? Yes, they had the bags, but that owner, I forget his name, I remember him running along the sideline with pom-poms. Not only did he turn the fan base around, but he turned the team around. I forget the guy's name, but he was a great owner for the New Orleans Saints when they were horrible, and he turned them around. So
okay, Ron Tate with the history, coming in with the history.
Yeah, but I think them with Huntley, they're gonna have if he plays well in the preseason game, they're gonna have to let someone go.
So who goes quickly? Who goes?
They should. I hope and pray they let Shedeur go.
Okay,
really
all right. No elaboration. No elaboration needed. Tennis Channel, you got 30 seconds. You can take maybe 45 seconds, but what is your thoughts on?
Give me the big 4 or 5. Okay. Hey,
what is your thoughts on who they're bringing in another quarterback? If he plays well, what happens to the other quarterbacks in that room?
Harry, I hope they would let Shedeur go for this reason. I don't want him at Cleveland. Because Cleveland already proved whether they like him or not, and everything starts at the head. So I'm hoping that but Huntley ain't gonna draw nothing. Why would they keep him around other than to bring him in just so they can have 4 quarterbacks? I don't know. To be honest with you, as a fan base, I look at stuff like that and I scratch my head. So what the heck are they doing? I'm not an owner, but one thing I am doing, if I'm bringing Huntley in, you can bet it ain't just to bring him in. I'm looking at my bottom line. So if I bring him in, who can I cut? You see, bringing him in for the competition, yeah, but you got to remember, as an owner, you got these owners that it's all about the bottom line. I never lose focus of anything because, like with Harry, you want some viewers on here. That's your bottom line.
That's why I gotta continue the drama. So who leaves? You mentioned cut. Who gets cut? Your opinion?
I don't know. I really don't know.
No, man, you gotta give me a name, bro. Come on, give me a name. Who gets cut?
Okay, I'll give you. I would hope that Shedeur would get cut and they send him somewhere else.
Okay.
For that reason.
All right, there's a narrative going on with Shedeur getting cut. DC Carson
for
music.
That reason. Let him free the man. Free Willie.
Free Willie. Yeah, that's you, Free Willie. DC. Oh man, they're bringing in Huntley. They're bringing in Huntley. What does that mean for the other quarterbacks? And then in the end, who gets cut?
They bring in him. I would think it would be Pickett. I would say it's that for those who would say they hope Shedeur gets cut, you got to unpack that. If you really believe there was collusion, if you believe that the NFL was out to get him, then you also have to say if they cut him, who is going to pick him up? You have to be able to understand.
You're gonna start a whole nother show with that.
I know, but what
Just
I'm saying
give
is,
me why you thinking they're bringing in Huntley, and
I
what does
think they're
that mean?
bringing in Huntley is because they have three QBs that are having some type of physical issues. And I think what it is that they're just trying to make sure they can have a player to get through this practice. But I would not be surprised if he winds up being the practice QB. I don't think they cut either of the rookies. If anybody's on a chopping block, I think it will be Pickett first and Flacco second. Did y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
heard
why
you.
my stream is stalling.
I can hear you.
Is Harry froze for y'all?
Yeah, I think he is.
Okay. So,
Where Harry?
Mr. Smith, you want to go next or me?
Is Harry asleep or what?
I can hear the rest of y'all. So I'll go. I'll
Harry
go
must be
next.
asleep.
I'll go next or DC, were you done?
Yeah, I was done.
Okay, I'll go next, and then Mr. Smith, then you can roll out. So with bringing in Huntley, you've got to have your safeguards. This is a safeguard. This is a safety net. When it comes to hamstrings, a lot of time grade ones are really not mentioned. We know that Pickett's was upgraded from a grade 1 to a grade 2. That's kind of serious. That you're looking at some weeks of rehab and taking it, being careful. So they have their first preseason game this Friday, and typically, if you got 4 quarterbacks, that means at least 4 quarterbacks make an appearance in each quarter or something of that nature. The game gets split up, or at least at a minimum 2 quarterbacks. So right now, 2 dealing with hamstrings. That really leaves, Flacco and Shedeur. So you have to bring in your safety net. And as far as any cuts, yes, I would rather see Shedeur traded. I heard there was rumors that other teams were looking at as well. Surprised that Shedeur was still, available. And that's the reason why the Browns had to trade up to get him. They couldn't wait to get him because then they risked one of the other teams rumbling and rumors looking at him. So Huntley was an undrafted free agent. So a lot of times, with football is old heads. So your status coming in, you were last coming in. He's last coming into camp, and he was undrafted free agent. Then he would have won be cut and going to the practice squad. But also, Shedeur is last on the depth chart, 4th, and everyone has assured me that no one ever goes with 4 quarterbacks into the season. So that would leave them putting Shedeur on the practice squad and/or putting together a trade package. So we always want Shedeur to have a good showing. Hopefully he gets time on Friday. Hopefully Huntley has a good showing on Friday because then that would make them tradable. That would generate some trade interest. Then they could put together a trade package. Mr. Smith? Hey, Dallas, you there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're good.
Hey, repeat that again, Harry. That question.
Hey, just answer the question on the table because Harry's still struggling to come through.
Wake up
okay.
over there. Y'all wake up, man. Get back on here. Everybody go to sleep.
No, just answer the question that's on the board, and then hopefully Harry will come through fine.
Okay. Repeat that question in on the board for me, Wild Dog. If you know.
Okay, it's basically like your opinion on Huntley coming in, and then secondarily, in the end, who do you think is going to get cut when you have 6 quarterbacks in the room and 5 active?
Oh, okay. He's a depth piece. If you got pretty much what you said, if you got guys that's hurt and you're going into a preseason game, you got to have at least 3 quarterbacks because anybody could go down at any given time. So you got to be You got to have that surety that, you know, if one man go down, I still got two more to make it through 4 quarters. So if anybody was to get cut, I think it would be Huntley. Honestly.
Why do you bring Huntley in and then cut him? Does that make sense?
I mean, he's an undrafted free agent, so I don't think that Dylan Gabriel's gonna go anywhere. You know what? Let me back that up. I think Flacco will get cut. Just
No,
due
that
to
don't
his,
make sense.
just due to his age, and if he's able to make it, because you got to look toward the future. You're not looking at the now.
Well, that's the Browns, bro. He's
You know what I mean?
QB1 right now.
Yeah, he's QB. You don't cut QB1.
Yeah.
Hey, and then
Right.
listen to me. First,
The depth chart, the unofficial depth chart came out, and he's QB1. So it doesn't make sense to bring in Huntley, cut him, or cut Flacco.
hey, Mr. Smith, you got first round draft picks in Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett. You got Dylan Gabriel, 3rd round draft
Right.
pick. You got Shedeur, 5th round draft pick. You got Huntley, undrafted free agent.
Correct.
These old heads, sometimes they don't care about what you're doing now. Where he came from, who he was, and his history, his resume, and sometimes it's nonsense, you know. So
Right.
that's why it's so hard. That's why it's so hard in the NFL, because how you came in almost puts you way behind the 8 ball.
I mean, if you got, I'm sticking with Flacco, because if you have first round picks next season, and you going after your supposedly franchise quarterback, then Flacco, we all know Flacco is at the end of his career. Not only that, okay, can Flacco make it through a whole entire season? They're not winning no division this year. They're not going to no Super Bowl. They're not no playoff contender.
They're projected to get 4.5 wins, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
4.5 wins.
What does that do for your organization?
So quickly before we get up out of here, if the Manning is not gonna come out and that's their choice,
he's not coming out.
Is it Beck? Who they're going after? The former Georgia quarterback, Beck?
They can't afford anybody, bro.
Beck is over at Miami.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they go
He's
after
garbage, Beck. Bro. He's garbage.
They still have to pay Watson.
So
they can't afford
this
it.
is supposed to be a good quarterback draft that's coming up. Who is their target?
They can't afford anybody.
Who is their target? If they don't want no quarterbacks right now, who's the target?
Good. That's why they traded their number 2 pick.
Hey, Harry, don't they have the kid from Indiana? Is he coming out this year?
The Indiana quarterback, is he coming out? Has his name been circling?
I'm not sure. I would ask those Browns fans in the chat, because they would know a lot more than me.
The organization doesn't talk. So you can't even ask the Browns what's going on. Like, we know just as much as they do.
If
we just got here.
If Dylan Gabriel was their guy,
oh my God.
Dylan Gabriel was their guy and a Heisman finalist, they waited to the 3rd round because that's what they can afford. They waited to the 3rd round to pick up their guy because that's what they can afford.
The Browns are a mess. Wow. Their fan base be in the dark. They'll be like, look, y'all guess is just as good as ours. We don't know what's happening around here.
Wow.
That's the one thing you realize about this daggone Browns. It's like, you don't know what's going on, because yesterday we were not talking before 7 p.m. Eastern time. We were not talking about Huntley. We weren't talking about any other quarterback. I did behind the scenes, but we were not talking about any other quarterback. Now we are. This is how dysfunctional this team is.
You got to stay on your toes, Harry. It's the Cleveland Browns. You got to stay on your toes.
Wow.
Like you tap dancing, bro. Like they put you on your toes like you're doing the. Let's get up out of here.
That's why I kind of wish, man, that he didn't go to Cleveland. I was hoping that he did. I said, well, maybe it might be a good thing. But the way this organization just looked from the outside, we're not on the inside, but the way they portray themselves from the outside, man, it's not good. They can get the best quarterback in the league, and they still gonna blow it some kind of way. Seems like they find a way to. And like I said, I don't know, man. I look at it sometimes, Harry, and I scratch my head, and I said, you know what? That ain't my
I'm running out of hair to scratch. We've
That
been
ain't-
scratching
that
our
ain't
heads
my
since we got
problem.
here. But okay, so Jeffrey is saying again, like everybody else is saying, which I don't really see it because we follow college football. We know who's who in this college football arena. You saying next year's draft class is going to be better than this year, but who is the top guy? Man, you don't scratch Manning. Manning doesn't have enough snaps for us to be talking about him right now. So who the heck is the guy who's making up? You remember at least a year prior we knew Caleb was in there. We knew Bo Nix was there. Who, if this is supposed to be a better draft class, why is it that we don't know the names?
Hey,
at this point.
Hey, being draft eligible doesn't mean you declare for the draft. And I know I'm wild. I live up to my nickname, Wild. But Harry B, these dudes making buku money, dog. They're going to look at their rookie contract and what they're already making, and they're going to be like, I'll pass, I'll wait. And I feel that
Shedeur. But who are they? Just give me a name. Who are they?
I feel that Shedeur should have waited. So anybody saying that just because someone's eligible, they're going to come out, I mean, you're sorely mistaken. Manny's going to make it way more money in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, but they're rich. They're a rich family. Money is not a thing for them.
Daddy's money ain't your money.
No, I'm not talking about his daddy's money or whatever. I think he's just playing the game. I mean, at this point, y'all are rich. So I'm talking about. But can I get one name? If it's not Beck, who the heck is it? I'm taking
saying that.
That's what I'm saying. Are they trying to sell us something? I feel like they're trying to sell us something, but we know better around here. What do you know that we don't know? There's nothing they know that we don't know. So who are they trying to sell? Oh, this year's quarterback, this is going to be a much better quarterback. What's the name? We know about Nussmeier. We know Nico's not ready. Klubnik and like the Sellers, Drew Aller. That's the better group. Is this a joke?
Probably is some joke on there.
No. I mean, the names are real, but this is not. But if they're saying that this is supposed to be the quarterback class that is supposed to be better than the last one, I don't see it. I don't know.
These guys don't have quarterback names. That's not the name of a quarterback.
We know about Nussmeier. We do know about Klubnik, right? Oh, Waldo, I'm not hearing you. Waldo, your audio's not on.
Nussmeier, Klubnik.
But that's what I'm about to say. It's more SEC hype. So you got the LSU quarterback, Nussmeier. You got Manning.
Trash.
And then you got Sellers of South Carolina. So I'm like, it's more SEC hype. Oh, we got these SEC quarterbacks, and they're going to be eligible for the NFL draft.
So they were just playing. They were just downplaying Nico when he was going through his financial situation. They downplayed him. Now we're saying that he's going to be one of the guys that we're talking about. Maybe Drew and Nussmeier, but like, you see what I'm saying? This is what happens.
Harry,
you get
Nussmeier is trash.
But
unless you got
come on, Tim, you know what I know. We're watching these guys, right? So
Tim's pretty adamant about that, man.
I'm like, damn. Tell us how you really feel, bro.
We know these people, so that's why I'm like, I think that's what the corporation part of it. This is. It's like you try to plant that stuff in our minds, and then but when the time starts to get closer and closer, you sell it, you keep selling it, and you keep telling us, and then before you know it, We start falling in love, and then we start arguing ourselves like, yeah, Nussmeier's great. What? That's what they're doing right now. They're planting the seed.
And I like Arch, and I love the Manning family, but 3 games, bro. 3 games.
No, I said no.
I mean, unless they really, really show out this year, which they could do, but even Klubnik from Clemson, it's like, really? It's like, okay.
Yeah, they're trying to sell us. They're trying to sell us early so that when they start rolling them out, then we will be locked in and start choosing sides. Because if you got Nico in that, if you got Ian Maliava in there, then we got a problem. Because not too long ago, y'all was telling us that he was trash.
Yeah.
Y'all was saying he wasn't worth $2 million. So how can you be in a quarterback room that's supposed to be the best room, and you're saying a guy that's not worth $2 million? So then what are you trying to do? So anyway, let's get up out of here, man. I'm way. I'm 30 minutes over time.
You in trouble now.
I'm in trouble, man. I'm 30 minutes over time. But it's a great show, man. We had a great time. Who just
Great
came
show.
late? Somebody just came in. Yard man, come on, Yard man. You've been working too hard, brother. All right. I know y'all Jamaicans, man. Y'all got 3 different jobs. You know what I'm saying? And that's just your night job. Your day job, you got 4 jobs. So that's 7.
Salute to Yard man. Salute to Yard man. Appreciate you.
You got 7 jobs, 3 at night and 4 in the daytime.
Hey, I've been there, done that, Yard man. You keep hustling, brother. Double shifts, man. Double shifts.
Hey, plus his wife has a part-time job.
He hiding from Trump. Hey, he's self-deported. Tim, he's y'all man about to self-deport.
Yeah, he's self-deporting for real. Straight self-deport.
Stop.
Oh my
Yo,
God!
let's get him out of here, yo.
Hey, great show, Harry. Hey, that was good at the end, Harry.
Oh, y'all gonna make me cry. Yeah, let's get up out of here, man.
I'm tears, man.
Let's get final thoughts in. Tennis channel, we're going backwards. Tennis channel, let's get final thoughts in. Final thoughts, Tennis.
Hey man, it's good to be back here with you guys, chatting with you guys, man. It's so I'm looking forward to I know we didn't talk about it, but I'm looking forward to the Bucks having a great season this year. I'm glad we get back into those discussions and everything. So I'm excited about we got a big line, man. Big guys. I'm loving it, And so but good to hear from everybody, Wild Dog. Tim, I like Tim, man. Whenever Tim don't like nobody, Tim say trash. I love it. I know when Tim don't like something, he's that trash,
Oh,
but anyway,
man.
it's good to be here, guys.
Hey man, good to have you back. Ron Tate, put your microphone on, brother. Let me get your final thoughts.
I'm here.
Final thoughts, brother.
Hey, listen, I believe that Shedeur has done the right thing and in playing the way he's played and having the mindset that he has. And I think he's voted himself really well for him to go to another team. I really, really, really hope he gets out of Cleveland because the disrespect and the way that the owner has set the tone for the organization to treat him. I'm not for that. Not at all. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right, man. Todd Smith, you close us out, brother.
All right. I'm gonna say this real quick, Harry, and I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
If we're supposed to have had a fair competition, and if the stats are accurate, and we're coming up on preseason won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna end it with that.
Yeah.
Well, you're ending with that, but preseason could lie because it's the Browns. Wild Dog keep reminding us it's the Browns that got it.
It's the Browns, but preseason won't lie.
Y'all
But-
know Carvel. He said, "Is the economy stupid?" It's the Browns that got it. Oh my gosh!
Hey, great show, Harry. I'm out, man.
Yo, for sure. All right, guys, y'all have a great evening, man. Y'all have a great rest of your day. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I've been going nonstop. We definitely had to come back on here, but I've been going nonstop. We're not having a nice show, but whatever we find out, I'll probably put it in a video or something. And if I definitely have to come back, if something happens, then we'll come back. But other than that, man, I'll see y'all on the next live. Y'all take care. God bless. Peace.
God bless.
All right, man. Take care. Peace.